Carl Jung once said that you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to do with what happened. And that's the moment everything changes. There's a silent, almost invisible instant when destiny seems to bend, the instant when you decide who you will be. But until that moment comes, most of us live as reflections. We react, repeat, and survive. And we call that me. For Jung, the self we know is mostly a construction, a mask shaped by fear, wounds, and expectations. He called that mask the persona, the role we learn to play so we can be loved, respected, accepted. But behind that mask lives something far greater, something raw, untamed, and whole. He called it the self, the true center of the psyche, the source of who we were always meant to become. Between these two, the persona and the self, lies the battlefield of human choice. Because choosing isn't just deciding what to do. It's deciding who you are going to be in the face of what you feel. Jung discovered that every conscious choice reshapes the psyche. Each moment you choose awareness instead of reaction, something within you reorganizes. It's as if a new possibility of being comes alive. Every choice, no matter how small, is a creative act. The problem is, most of our choices aren't conscious at all. We repeat patterns we didn't choose. We love the way we were loved. We hurt the way we were hurt. We judge the way we were judged. And we call that personality. But what Jung saw is that this isn't personality. It's the unconscious running the show. The invisible forces we refuse to see end up directing our entire lives. That's why he warned, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. True transformation begins when you realize that you are not what you feel, but the one who chooses what to do with what you feel. That's where this truth is born. I am what I choose to become. Think about that. The power of not being defined by your past, your pain, your upbringing, or your mistakes, but by the awareness that lives in this exact moment. Awareness is the divine spark within us. It's the space between impulse and action, between fear and response. It's there in that small gap that the self whispers, you can choose. And when you choose, something shifts. Your shadow, all that you've denied or rejected, begins to reveal itself, asking not to be feared but integrated. Because every conscious choice is, in truth, an invitation to wholeness. To become who you choose to be isn't about reinventing yourself. It's about remembering the parts of you that have always been there, the ones you buried beneath fear and conformity. This is the essence of Jung's life work. Individuation, the process of becoming your true self, rather than the version the world expected you to be. In the next part, we'll step into the everyday reality of this idea. How, without even noticing, you choose, or refuse to choose, in every reaction, every word, every silence, and how to transform that automatic cycle into a conscious act of creation. Jung believed that freedom begins the moment we stop living as victims and start living as authors. And perhaps that's the deepest truth of all. You are not what the world has made of you. You are what you choose to make of it. It's Monday morning. You're stuck in traffic, already late for an important meeting. The air feels heavy, the car horns echo in the distance, and the clock on your dashboard becomes an enemy. Suddenly a car cuts you off. You slam the brakes. Your body tenses. Before you can even think, you're yelling, cursing, your heart pounding as if the whole world just disrespected you. For a brief moment, it feels like your entire identity collapses into that single reaction. How dare they? But if Jung were sitting in the passenger seat, he'd invite you to look deeper. Because it's not just that driver you're angry at. It's the invisible mirror they activated inside you, the one reflecting your need for control, respect, or validation. The anger didn't come from the road. It came from an old wound, the part of you that once felt unseen, dismissed, powerless, and now it screams for acknowledgement. Jung saw emotions not as enemies, but as messengers of the unconscious. That sudden wave of rage, it's not random. It's a signal, an invitation to awareness. It's life asking, will you react as you always have, or will you choose something new? Now imagine this. Instead of letting the fury take over, you pause, you breathe, you watch yourself from a small distance, and a quieter voice emerges, firm but kind. I can choose. The energy is still there, the tension, the heartbeat, the fire, but it starts to shift. Instead of explosion, it becomes clarity. Instead of aggression, it becomes understanding. That's the alchemy of consciousness, transforming emotion into awareness. Let's move to another moment. You're at home, arguing with someone you love. They say something unfair and something that hits a nerve. You feel the familiar urge to defend, to prove, to win. The mind loads its weapons, logic, blame, pride. But again, a part of you watches. If you could see this scene from the outside, you'd notice two masks speaking to each other. Yours, the one that wants to be right, admired, safe. Theirs, the one trying not to feel small or wrong. Neither of you is really present. It's just two personas clashing. Jung called this the collision of masks, a dance of egos protecting their fragile images. But then, something in you softens. You take a breath and say, I can see that you're hurt. Not as a tactic, but as a truth. In that instant, the temperature of the room changes. The tension drops. And within you, something quiet awakens. The self, the deeper witness that chooses peace over pride. That's what it means to live consciously. It's not about suppressing emotion or pretending to be enlightened. It's about letting every emotion become a doorway back to presence. Jung taught that every time you act differently than your old pattern, a piece of the unconscious becomes light. It's like turning on a lamp in a cave you've feared for years. And the more light you bring in, the less power fear has over you. To be who you choose to become means this. You stop reacting as a prisoner of your past and start responding as the creator of your future. You can't control the traffic. You can't control others, but you can always choose how you exist within it. That's where destiny truly shifts, not in the outer world, but inside your awareness. Jung believed that real freedom begins the moment we stop reacting on autopilot. That's when we discover the quiet power to choose, not out of fear, but out of awareness. And this power isn't mystical. It's a skill you can cultivate every single day. Let's break it down into practice. Step 1. Catch the impulse before it catches you. The instant something triggers you, a comment, a tone, a glance, your body reacts first. That rush of emotion is your unconscious speaking. Instead of letting it drive you, pause. Take one breath. Ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling right now? This is not about what happened. It's about what it awakened in you. That pause, that single breath, is where awareness begins. Step 2. Observe, don't identify. Feeling anger doesn't make you an angry person. Feeling fear doesn't make you weak. When you can observe your emotions without becoming them, you create space for transformation. Jung's psychology teaches that observation itself is healing, because what you can see, you can choose. The moment you witness your emotion, it starts to lose control over you. Step 3. Act from yourself, not your wound. The self, that deep center of awareness, doesn't act to defend, but to understand. Before you speak or move, ask, am I reacting from pain or responding from wisdom? Choosing from the self may feel quieter, slower, softer, but it carries truth. And truth, even when gentle, always transforms the situation. Step 4. Turn conflict into reflection. Every difficult moment is a mirror. When someone triggers you, it's not about blame. It's about discovery. Ask, what part of me is being revealed right now? Jung saw life as a dialogue between the conscious and the unconscious, and that dialogue often speaks through our relationships. If you listen, even pain becomes teacher. Step 5. Practice until it becomes your nature. At first, this awareness feels like effort, but with time it becomes your second skin, not forced, but natural. You'll begin to notice that your reactions change, not because you're trying, but because you've evolved. You've become someone who doesn't need to react, because presence itself has become your default. Jung once wrote that no one becomes enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. That's what this practice is, choosing to see even when it hurts, until the light of awareness naturally fills the space where fear used to live. So next time life pushes your buttons, remember, you're not here to win or to prove. You're here to awaken. You're here to practice the art of becoming. If this message is helping you see yourself with more clarity, like, share, and subscribe. Each simple act helps spread this work of awakening, one conscious choice at a time. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into what Jung called integration, the moment when awareness doesn't just observe the shadow, but begins to transform it. According to Jung's teachings, real transformation doesn't happen when you try to fix yourself. It happens when you begin to understand what life is trying to show you through every experience. Each conscious choice rearranges the psyche. The chaos that once felt random slowly reveals itself as a mirror, reflecting exactly what your soul needs to see to evolve. Jung believed that consciousness is not a static state, but an expanding field. It grows every time you choose awareness over defense, truth over illusion, compassion over control. Every small act of lucidity, a pause, a breath, a moment of honesty, is a sacred step toward wholeness. You're not becoming calmer. You're becoming more real. In Jungian psychology, this process is called individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming your authentic self. It isn't about being better, it's about being true. To be authentic means to embrace the contradictions, your strength and your fragility, your light and your darkness, your fear and your courage, all existing together. When you stop fighting what you are, you discover that even your shadow has something to teach you, and that's where the idea of choice deepens. It's no longer just about choosing what to do, it's about choosing what to allow. Allowing yourself to see what hurts, allowing yourself to listen, even when the truth is uncomfortable, allowing yourself to stay present, even when every part of you wants to run. Jung taught that every descent into the unconscious is a sacred journey, a meeting with the forgotten parts of the self. The anger you hide, the grief you silence, the shame you bury, all of them are fragments of your own wholeness, waiting to be brought back home. And when you finally turn toward them with compassion, something miraculous happens. The energy once trapped in pain becomes creative power. Think of all the versions of yourself that have lived inside you. The child who believed too easily, the teenager who doubted everything, the adult who learned to harden in order to survive. They're all still here, not to be erased, but to be embraced. Because every part of you carries wisdom, once you're willing to listen. As you begin to integrate these forgotten aspects, everything softens. The heart opens. Anger turns into understanding. Guilt becomes responsibility. Fear transforms into the courage to create. Jung saw this as the miracle of consciousness, that when we bring light to the darkness, we don't destroy it. We redeem it. We can't change the past, but we can change the way it lives within us. And when that happens, even the smallest things shift. Conversations become gentler. Relationships grow deeper. Life itself feels more meaningful because you're no longer reacting from the wound. You're responding from the wisdom the wound gave you. For Jung, this wasn't just personal growth. It was a collective evolution. When one person becomes more conscious, humanity itself takes a step forward. Your healing is not only yours, it ripples outward, touching everything you're connected to. So when you wonder who you are, remember, you are everything you've been and everything you're still becoming. And what defines you is not your past, but the choices you make in this moment, right now. If this message resonates with you, like, share, and subscribe. Because every conscious act, even this one, helps spread light in a world that's still learning how to wake up. In the end, becoming who you choose to be isn't about adding something new. It's about remembering what was always there. It's the slow unveiling of your own essence, hidden beneath years of fear, conditioning, and expectation. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming whole, is the most profound work a human being can do. There are no crowds cheering for it. No finish line, just you, quietly building the inner architecture of your soul, one conscious choice at a time. And maybe that's the beauty of it. There is no final arrival. Consciousness isn't a destination. It's a rhythm. Every day offers you another chance to begin again, to choose to listen instead of defend, to choose to forgive instead of punish. to choose to be instead of prove. With every choice, your inner world shifts, and the outer world starts to reflect that shift back to you. The anger that once consumed you becomes clarity. The pain that used to break you becomes compassion. The fear that once defined you becomes a teacher. In Jung's view, the shadow was never the opposite of light. It was the soil from which light is born. When you dare to look into your own darkness, you find not emptiness, but the seeds of understanding. And it's in that sacred meeting and between shadow and light that the true you is born. I am what I choose to become. A simple phrase, but it holds everything. Power and humility. Creation and surrender. Power, because you're the author of your awareness. Humility, because choosing requires presence, and presence asks for honesty. Life will continue to test you, but those tests aren't enemies. They are mirrors. Each one invites you to practice who you've chosen to be. Every argument, every silence, every ending, all of them exist for one reason: to remind you that you are free. And freedom, in Jung's philosophy, is not the absence of limits. It's the courage to act from truth, even within them. So, take a deep breath. Feel what's alive inside you right now. It isn't the past. It isn't the fear. It's possibility, waiting for your choice. Jung once wrote that individuation is a kind of second birth, the awakening of the soul to itself. Maybe that's what's happening to you now. Maybe this is your second birth, and it begins the moment you whisper with awareness and courage, I am what I choose to become.